So we're going to be talking about decoding the secrets of Egyptian hieroglyphs. And the instructor was Bob Breyer. And he did an awesome job.
You're even learning
even
it,
made
right?
me interested in it. And I mean, James has the stuff around all the time. He says it's like this was review for James.
Kind of like.
He already knows this stuff, but
Well, at this level.
yeah. But I didn't. And
Now you know
no,
some of the stuff at this level.
A little
You know,
bit.
the important thing is to understand the basic principle, right? There really isn't picture writing.
No, there isn't. It's
phonetic with a few pictures chucked in to kind of clarify things. And you drew some pictures. You actually composed a first sentence or two in Egyptian hieroglyphs.
I did it really poorly.
Not really.
It's
You put color in there. And that's something that they did. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of some of the things that they did.
I made some artwork.
Yeah,
but I know that it's not really the writing part of it is not artwork because Egyptians did not have a word for art.
Is that what this guy said?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Currently, James disagrees.
I said I don't believe it. I don't necessarily disagree.
Well, anyway, I learned quite a few things from this great course, and I would recommend it to everybody. It was very enjoyable. The instructor, one of the first things he does is teach you the alphabet and then gets you to transliterate your name.
Good idea.
Which is great because that's automatically when he started teaching the alphabet, the first thing I was thinking is, how do I write my name?
Well,
and that's what everybody would be thinking.
Sure. Most people kind of like their own name. If they don't, they change it. Like Reginald Dwight III. Changed his name to Elton John.
And I've learned how to not write my name. Because I tried to... You see, my name has an L in it. And they don't have an L in the Egyptian writing. And so I guess the Greeks threw in a lion. Because they were like, well, you need to have an L.
Yeah.
But,
they ran into trouble when they were trying to name the names of the new pharaohs. You know, they were Greek names. So there were things like Alexander, which has an R and an L, or Cleopatra, which has an R and an L, right? So Ptolemaeus has an L. Really important, because those pharaohs, the Romans did the same thing. They declared themselves pharaohs. Had them had themselves portrayed in the pharaonic garb. I don't think they actually dressed up in it, but maybe they did. And stuff like that. Adopted pharaonic names, like Egyptian names. Extra name. The tradition was for dudes, the pharaoh eventually to have 5 names. 2 of them in cartouche. Anyway, this guy does a good job. Makes it interesting.
And at the end of the show, he gave the names of his art director and producers and stuff like that, and he wrote it out in Egyptian hieroglyphs for us to see. And then he had a picture of them standing there too, saying hi. Yeah.
It's nice to have that personal touch.
Yeah. So it just shows he's a really nice person who actually tries to get you and everyone, the producer, everyone involved with it, right?
Motivated people, it seems like in every chapter, or the equivalent session, he had something like historical or social or something that would draw people in, right? Because people generally aren't that fascinated about languages when you get down to the brass tacks.
No, he gave you homework at the end that you wanted to do. That you wanted to learn with him. He was a great instructor.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine a better instructor.
It wouldn't be hard to.
Well, maybe. But...
Well, I don't know if I'd be as good as him.
He was such a good instructor for that level.
Yeah, I'd be making fun of their history. He chucked into history, some of the history. And it's the chronology behind the history. There's no real history of Egypt. We just get a trove of documents from one particular era and a trove of documents from another, but there's no continuous history.
And also the book was very useful. Like, say for writing out the alphabet. I don't know if you really want to go along with him. Like, he goes through it and he writes the stuff out, but his handwriting honestly is not very good because he's one of those left-handed people that was taught to write right-handed. And so he's drawing this picture writing that's really, it's not...
He should have got an expert to do it. I know he's an expert on mummies, but he's not an expert on the writing. Right? Someone is good at it.
So, like, they had the close-ups for you to follow, but it should have been somebody who was really smooth about the writing.
And consistent. You can see he'll draw two
and they weren't consistent, and they weren't...
One next to another, and going, oh, really? They're supposed to be the same?
And also in the book, he has it shown in steps, how to draw the stuff in steps. And it's too simplified, I think.
No, they always simplify the stuff.
It didn't look like even the pictures in the book or whatever of the things were more detailed, right? So it's a really...
Oh, well, no, the ones in the book, that's the way they're drawn. But see, when you're actually drawing them...
In the drawing one, it was simpler than the ones
That's
in the
book. Way that you're supposed to do it.
The simpler ones?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the drawing and the writing in the book?
That's right.
Well, I don't like it as much.
Well, that's the way it goes. Anyway, if you want to progress at it, you got to learn how to do that, right?
Well, I don't want to.
There we go. You want to do more, stress the artistic side.
Yeah.
But the way it's printed in the book is the way you print stuff. See, there's a difference between printing and writing, right?
Oh, yes. I could see that. But I didn't like it as much anyway.
Sure.
And so I was trying to do the prettier stuff because I didn't...
It's better to do that way when you're learning it, I think. So...
And I can bring you some avocado for your potatoes.
James has been... I'm on an avocado.
He's been wanting to eat these potato things, so I'm cooking them up. But we were given them, and I'm very thankful. But they're not something we would eat ever if we were given a choice. Like, I would just give this to the dogs,
Free
honestly.
Potatoes,
but right now the dogs have plenty of pork, so.
This is true. They're porking out on them.
And so James is enjoying these, but I'm giving him avocado, and he spreads it on like butter.
Healthier than butter, right?
Top of bread.
Yeah, I think it's
and he's
tasty.
just eating them like toast. Like
I eat them like toast. This is true. No one's probably ever had it as good with these sorts of things. I actually managed to make them somewhat healthy with Pauline's help.
So anything else to say about the Egyptian stuff?
It just comes recommended. Learn some stuff about Egyptian stuff. The writing and all that sort of stuff. Don't take what he says about the history terribly seriously. I know they do, and that's enough. Enough people in the world take it seriously. And all the Egyptologists in the world take it seriously. And believe me, they do. With very few exceptions. I'm proud to say I'm not an Egyptologist.
Anyway, I took a lot of notes, and James went through and was reading my notes, and I found it frustrating trying to write sentences because not all the words that I needed were there.
No, that's a big problem when you're learning this stuff.
And so I was trying to write something out, and I tried to write out, it took me hours to try to write out things because I wasn't finding what I needed. So then I'd try something else, and so
You'd be able to get something like that in a good university library. There is, for example, it'd have to be a pretty good university library, but this isn't the best university library in Lethbridge, and they have at least one pretty good dictionary. Egyptian to English. So, there you go. They're available.
And I still don't understand what, different things are supposed to mean, and James says it doesn't mean, it's just phonetic. And I don't really understand it. So
Well, it's just like asking what does the letter B mean?
yeah. See, that's where I am right now. What does the letter B mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean
And so the
anything.
symbols, when they're used phonetically, in other words, for sound symbols, they don't mean anything. Now, the weird thing is, each one of them means something, even though we haven't been able to reconstruct the meaning, and that applies to some of them. But you know, like the thing that stands for R, a mouth, it stands for a mouth when it's used as a symbol.
Well, I know that, and like I know now the symbols what I've used. I know what they mean now,
Sure.
like the placenta and stuff. I can see.
And that's an H sound.
Very strange.
They had 4 different H sounds. Isn't that appalling?
Oh, well, there's only 2 listed in there, aren't there? 2?
There's one that would be like a German
Oh,
CH.
the CH.
Then there's
Well, that's listed
yeah.
as a C, so.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that way. Anyway, he's trying to, when you know, the one that he says is an E really isn't an E. It's actually probably a kind of sound. It's a consonant, really.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you're learning different languages, you can't really switch. You can't really spell your name or any other word into their language. It's not going to, like, if you write boat, it's certainly not going to mean boat, whatever. If you go by the alphabet in different, like, or whatever, the phonetic or something, and it's not going to mean boat. I don't know what it would mean, but
You can't think of what it would be.
I'm just trying
Well,
to
see,
use an example.
we don't even give them much credit of having O's.
So anyway, I was told I wrote my name wrong the first time. James looked at it and he's like, no. So I can't even write my name because I said, well, I didn't put an L because it shouldn't, there's no L, and so I just left it out. And then he said, well, there shouldn't be an E at the end because you don't sound the E, and so I shouldn't have put that in. And then I put the A over the U because I didn't want it to be Pauline, And so I wanted it to be together, so I did it one over the other, and he said no. So I did it all wrong, and so then I tried.
Wrong. I mean, you got the basic things right, just the way you put them together.
And so then.
So you should have put an R for the L. So they would have said it, Parim, something like that, Parim.
Okay. So then I tried to put my name, like James had told me before when we first met. He does this to everyone. If you meet him and you give him your name, he'll say, oh, that means da-da-da-da. Or, have you looked it up? Does it mean da-da-da-da? He knows what it means. I
make all sorts of mistakes. But I try.
Anyway, so then when he first met me, he said, your name means little.
Kind of like.
So.
The Paul definitely means little.
And then the Ian is the diminutive of.
She remembers the correct term, see? That's like bonus extra marks there. 110%.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
maybe 200%.
Well, thank you. But
awesome.
I always fail because I always do something wrong. So I put, like in this, I found, something means small. So a little sparrow means small. And I saw, well, it also means bad.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I know I'm not bad, and if other people think I'm bad, that's okay. So I put 2 sparrows because little.
Yeah. And
right?
I said,
and he's like,
from
no.
what I can tell. Now, I think it's partly because I see it in historical documents, and it would be like vile Ethiopia, vile. So it's not even just bad; it's awful. So it was really vile.
That's
Kush,
definitely not my name in Egyptian.
The vile sand dwellers, which they applied to people from Asia, right? And it was, generally to people from the Holy Land, maybe from the northern part of Saudi Arabia. Did they apply it to the Assyrians?
I correctly wrote my sister's name.
I think she did a pretty good job. Well, she wrote Kathi, but they didn't have a TH sound, so what can you do? You come up with an approximation.
But I still don't know how to write my own name. Maybe I'll get it on try 3.
Well, it would be, the way you'd write it would be Powering. It's just, that's the way it goes. To get it as close as possible.
So whatever. Because I don't want to stick the line in there because it's not true.
The lion?
I don't want to stick it in for an L. Because if they didn't have an L, then my name wouldn't have been Poppy.
Well, eventually they did have an L.
Well, they didn't. It was forced on them.
Well, I think eventually, like if we looked at Coptic right now, we might find an L. I've forgotten whether there's an L in Coptic. No, that's what it morphed into. So, I think they actually did kind of distinguish between the dimensions. These things can happen, where sounds can kind of split into, and that's what it's called, is a split. It can split into two different sounds. The opposite can happen too. Two sounds can merge, and that's what it's called, it's a merger. You're getting some heavy-duty linguistic stuff here, guys. All for free. Just for the price of the time you spend watching.
Yeah, sitting around watching us rather than Christina Aguilera. Or... Who's popular now? I don't even know.
You know what? I don't much care.
Doesn't matter.
Oh well, someone cares. That's the important thing.